Hi there guys, welcome back. It's quarter-final time. Let's make some selections and do some previews on these quarter-finals, starting with Ireland versus New Zealand. Now first of all, I'll quickly pop up a code I've been given by Fanatics in the England Rugby store. If you do want to buy any rugby stash, it's 10% off using that code and clicking on the link below. I haven't done any affiliate links before, but they offered me 5%. I asked for 10, they gave me 10, so I thought I'd put it up just so you guys could get that if you wanted. So you're getting something out of that link. Now, Ireland versus New Zealand. Now, does Ireland have an advantage from their recent wins over New Zealand? Or you could say New Zealand have had a good look at Ireland and they know what's coming. So whichever way you look at it, it's an interesting rematch. Are New Zealand more motivated to set the record straight? Possibly. I think both sides will use it to their own advantage. Whether it's based on reality or not, I think they'll use it as a motivating tool. New Zealand are massive favourites. And they've got Retallick back. That's pretty big. So I would put them as huge favourites. Ireland can play the underdog card. Plus they've got a few things going in their favour, as in Murray's back fit, Sexton looks fit, Carberry's back. They're pretty much fully stacked. Will they have saved some tactics we haven't seen? True, yes, I think so, but New Zealand will have as well. So that'll be very interesting to see how those two go with their tactics. Okay, straight into the teams. At number one, I'm going Healy. Kilcoyne was in the mix, but I think Healy is still probably the classier player. I think I've seen enough now to stay with him. As with Best, now I'm very close to starting Cronin in my team. I think they probably need to show, ideally New Zealand a slightly different picture. Maybe I've got that wrong. Maybe Cronin should start, let me know. Furlong, however, in the tight head is looking very, very good. Strong, fit and powerful. So he's going to be well up for it. Henderson and Ryan, again, there's absolutely no competition for those two in the second row, whether that's good or bad. They're the quality players. They're the pairing that's played. Been first choice for the whole World Cup, so that's easy. Back row, I had changed around my selections depending on the form of Ireland, but it's gone back to the one I would have picked before the World Cup in Amani 6, Van der Fleer 7 and Stander 8. Van der Fleer looked very good against Samoa, but I do feel against better teams, more physical teams, or better back row should I say, he does struggle a bit, but I still think he's the best option. Same with Stander. Can he really physically impose himself on New Zealand? I'm just not sure, but I still think it's the best back row. Murray and Sexton, as I said, are looking sharp. They're looking good, so that's very promising. And definitely I'd bring on Carberry for a good 20 minutes. And if they're chasing the game, probably more. So that makes sense. Use Sexton to get the game going. Then Carberry comes on to offer something different. The fact that Aki is banned, probably, or certainly going to be banned, could be a bonus in some ways because it makes them play Henshaw, I think, at 12 and Ringrose at 13. And that combination is the most creative. For a side that has been lacking a bit of creativity at times, I think those two give them a good chance. Could Henshaw be the difference they need? And the back three is, as we'd expect. Stockdale, Earls and Carney. These are all my selections, of course. Hasn't been the actual team out. Stockdale I've ummed and erred over, but I think he's your most dangerous runner, so he's in for me now. Earls has looked good. Carney is the number 115 for sure. And the bench is, as you see there, probably pretty standard. I don't think there's too many complaints there. Now, New Zealand, this is how I'd expect them to line up and probably what I'd pick as well. Moody, Coles, Laulala, Whitelock and Scott Barrett in the second row. Now, they could be tempted to start Brodie Retallick, but I think Scott Barrett has been playing really well. He's a solid customer. Retallick hasn't really proved his fitness or hasn't had a chance to prove his fitness fully, so bring him off the bench. What a great sub. Severe, Kane and Reid, I think that is absolutely nailed on back row. And to be honest, it's a better back row than Ireland's. Reid's back to top form. Severe is a class player. I think Ireland could struggle in this area. We shall see, but it's an area of strength for New Zealand. Smith at 9 is absolutely nailed on. Class outfit there. Mwanga, Barrett, Access at 10 and 15. Now there's no going back. This is what they're going to do. They're going to use Mwanga to kick, to playmate to play make up in their faces, then Barrett's going to be the pull behind option or the option going blind. He might slot in at first playmaker anyway at certain points. And of course to counter-attack. Now looking at the centres, Sonny Bill Williams very close for me, but I think Crotty's brains and just general rugby ability makes it. He's a defensive monster, he's really clever, and he makes the New Zealand team tick. Sure, he's not the biggest, but I think he is the best option, but they might pick Sonny Bill. Leonard Brown's been playing very well. It's a good link to the outside backs, a bit of both, bit of power, bit of speed, good handling. And in the back three, well, Beauden Barrett's obviously at 15, but I think the youngsters are going to retain their positions on the wing. Bridge and Rees, who'd have thought, a few months before this World Cup, they were going to be your starting wingers. Very impressive. I do think Ireland will try and get at them. Whether that's the right tactic or not, I don't know, but they're going to probably test them under the high ball. And what are Ireland going to do? I think they're going to pretty much do what they've always done. They're not going to change their DNA overnight. They might try and offload a bit more. They might try and run more lines. But essentially, they're going to try and take New Zealand on physically. Will it work? I'm not so sure, but they've got to try and do it, I think. Try and out-scrummage them, outline out them, beat them on the game line. They're not going to beat New Zealand for skill, but if they can get that physical edge, that's where they need to beat them. And they will go to their kicking game again, for sure. Test those young wingers. And if New Zealand can hold parity in those areas, I think they're going to win. They're just too skillful, too clever at turning over loose ball and capitalising on it. So anyway, New Zealand may think Ireland's confidence is a bit thin since they've had a couple of dips in form. And if they can get a couple of scores ahead, it could be game over. Ireland need to stay with them for as long as possible. They've got to win the physical battle. It's a long shot. They could do it, but New Zealand's definitely favourites. Please tell me what you guys think, and until next time, I will see you then.